Are you thinking of applying for the Ontario Disability Support Program, or ODSP? If you have spoken to other people about ODSP, you have probably heard a lot of different things about the program and the application process. The purpose of this video is to walk you through 8 of the most common myths that are spread about ODSP and the application process so that you can be better prepared to submit your application. Myth number 1. All ODSP applications are denied on the first go. While it is true that many ODSP applications are not successful on the first attempt, this is because there's likely not enough supporting information in the application the first time around, rather than a policy of declining first-time applications. There are 4 things that have to be proven for an ODSP application to be approved. Number 1, there has to be a medical condition present that causes substantial impairments or symptoms. Number 2, the impairments cause substantial restrictions to day-to-day functioning. Number 3, the impairments are expected to last for a year or more. Number 4, the presence of the medical condition is verified by an appropriate medical professional. Simply put, if you prove that all 4 requirements are met, then your application will be approved. When trying to prove these requirements, the more information that you include, the better your chances of getting approved. Another way to give yourself the best chance of being approved is to have a medical professional who knows your medical condition very well, along with how that medical condition impacts your daily functioning. The good news is that if your ODSP application is denied, the reasons for that denial will be included with the decision. This will give you the opportunity to gather any additional information needed to make the application successful before you appeal the decision. Myth number 2. Everyone experiencing addiction gets onto ODSP. It was not too long ago that the presence of addictions alone meant that someone was not eligible for ODSP. In 2009, a court decision changed this, as it was found to be discriminatory to deny ODSP applications for this reason. So, now you can get onto ODSP if you are experiencing serious addictions issues without any other medical condition. However, it is important to note that for someone to be approved for ODSP on the grounds of addiction alone, they still have to meet the same 4 requirements that every other ODSP applicant has to meet. That means that the applicant has to prove the presence of an addiction which creates substantial impairments for them, which, in turn, substantially restricts their ability to function and is expected to last for over a year. The presence of this addiction has to be verified by an appropriate medical professional. Myth number 3. I can't have any money saved to get financial approval for ODSP. If you are applying for ODSP, part of the application involves proving that you are in financial need. To prove this, you will have to give information on your income and assets, along with the income and assets of all other people in your household. If you are already receiving Ontario Works, or OW, you will not have to prove that you are in financial need. There is a limit to the amount of money that you can have saved to qualify for ODSP. This amount was recently increased to $40,000, which is the basic asset limit for the program. It is also important to know that there are other forms of assets that are exempt from this basic asset limit, meaning that you can have more than $40,000 in savings as long as that money is in the right place. Some of these exemptions include a primary residence, but this does not include owning a property that you do not live in, a vehicle, regardless of the value of the vehicle. You are able to have up to $200,000 in a registered disability savings plan, plus $90,000 in government contributions, and growth of this savings plan from investments is also exempt. Money saved in a Henson trust is exempt regardless of the value of assets in the trust. And you can also have an inheritance trust with up to $100,000. Myth number 4. I can't be working at all to get accepted for ODSP. The ODSP program does not discourage people from working while collecting the benefit. In fact, they encourage recipients to work by providing a $100 work-related benefit to all recipients who report an earned income. Additionally, ODSP recipients can earn up to $1,000 per month before seeing any reduction to the benefits they get through the program. If a recipient goes over $1,000 of earned income, the monthly benefits received are reduced by 75% of the amount earned over $1,000. It is also important to note that if you are looking to apply for ODSP and your healthcare provider says you aren't disabled if you are able to work, you can remind them that ODSP helps people have financial security, which significantly improves health outcomes. Myth number 5. Everyone has to go through a long application process to qualify for ODSP. If you are part of a prescribed class, you don't have to prove your disability and will only have to prove that you meet the financial eligibility requirement for ODSP. You are part of this prescribed class if you receive either the Canada Pension Plan Disability, or CPPD, or Quebec Pension Plan Disability, or QPPD benefit. If you are eligible for services through Developmental Services Ontario, or DSO, if you are 65 years old or above, but do not qualify for Old Age Security, or OAS, or if you live in an institution, mental health facility, or home for those with developmental disabilities. If you receive CPPD or QPPD, ODSP could serve as a top-up in addition to getting the medical benefits that come with the program, so it is worth looking into applying. Another important thing to note is that if you previously received ODSP and then stopped receiving the benefit, you could be eligible for what is called rapid reinstatement if you reapply for the program. Myth number 6. I'll have to pay a lot of money for a mental health diagnosis. As we went over in the first myth, a medical condition has to be verified by an appropriate medical professional if it is being used for the basis of your ODSP application. A psychological assessment can be very helpful with this. To receive a diagnosis for a mental health condition, a psychological assessment has to be administered by a psychologist, psychological associate, or a physician. Typically, the standard rate for a psychological assessment is $225 per hour, but this can vary depending on who is administering the assessment. There are also services in the community that are for sliding scale fees for psychological assessments, meaning that the rate can be far lower than the $225 per hour if you have low income. Additionally, there are some psychological services that host practicum students. These students aren't licensed psychologists, but they are under the supervision of a licensed psychologist. Services that host students may offer a reduced rate for seeing these students. It can be worthwhile to ask at various services to see if this is an option. Myth number 7. I can't apply for ODSP unless I am a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. It is common for people who do not have permanent resident status in Canada to be discouraged from applying for ODSP or OW, but this is wrong. The relationship between immigration status and social assistance eligibility is complicated. The law surrounding social assistance eligibility does disqualify some people from receiving social assistance due to their status in Canada. Those who do not qualify based on this status are those subject to an enforceable removal order unless they are not able to leave for reasons beyond their control, or they have made an application for permanent resident status under humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Those who are classified as visitors, unless they have a refugee status or they have made an application for permanent resident status under humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Additionally, anyone who is classified as a tourist or someone who is traveling or visiting for pleasure is not eligible for receiving social assistance. It should be noted that everyone has the right to apply for social assistance and receive a written decision. So, if you feel that you are in need of social assistance and that you should qualify for it, you can and should submit an application. Since the relationship between immigration status and social assistance eligibility is complicated, it might be a good idea to talk to someone at your local legal clinic if you are unsure about your eligibility. Myth number 8. If my OW worker says I won't qualify, I shouldn't apply for ODSP. If you are on Ontario Works and your worker discourages you from applying for ODSP, this is problematic because deciding whether or not someone qualifies for ODSP is outside of their area of expertise. The decision about whether or not you qualify for ODSP is up to medical professionals and the Social Benefits Tribunal. Your OW worker is not the gatekeeper for ODSP and should provide you with an ODSP application if you request it. As we said in the last myth, everyone has the right to apply for social assistance and receive a written decision. So, it is in your best interest to apply for ODSP if you feel that you are in need of it and will qualify for it. We hope that this video has helped you feel more confident in your ability to apply and be approved for ODSP. For more information about your rights, visit www.wrcls.ca. You can also contact Waterloo Region Community Legal Services at www.wrcls.ca/web-contact or call us at 519-743-0254. Check out our YouTube channel for more videos.